Okay, hold on. Did you know there were rules to amigurumi? Because I didn't. And I'm pretty sure I've broken every single one of them. And once I discovered them, I realized that I really don't care. So let's go over them and see if you guys knew these rules or not, because I sure didn't. And if you stick around to the end, I will tell you what methods I've changed, which ones I'm adopting, and the best tip that I've discovered if you hate sewing. Okay, so I'm just going to go over what the rules are, and then we'll go over what I do and what I don't do and my general opinion on them after. And we'll get to the tip at the very end. Okay, so I guess the number one rule is magic ring. You're supposed to do a magic ring when you do amigurumi. And if you don't know how to do that, I have a video on that. And I also have a video that compares the magic ring to the chain five. And if you can really tell, and I will link those both in the description box below. Okay, the second rule is all amigurumi is done in single crochet. Is it though? Rule number three, yarn under. I guess you're supposed to yarn under and not yarn over. And there is a difference. I don't know. Number four, invisible decreases versus single crochet two together. There is a difference. Number five, staggering your increases and your decreases. Number six, spirals versus rounds. I guess you're supposed to work in the spirals and not the rounds. And number seven, one hook size smaller than the yarn itself calls for. Okay, my opinion on the magic ring is that it honestly doesn't matter. Like I said, I have that video on if you could really tell the difference. And for the longest time, I did the chain five and never had a problem with it. So if you feel like you cannot do the magic ring, honestly, don't trip, tater chip, because it is not that big of a deal. So the magic ring is definitely something that I do recommend, but it's not a deal breaker. Okay, and then regarding the single crochet, I've done half double crochet. It definitely counts for it. And also, if you watch my keychain video, that funny little frog was definitely done in double crochet. I can tell. So I don't think this is a hard rule, but I do think it is a good rule. So yarn under versus yarn over. Never have I ever. Okay. I tried once and it hurt my brain. I cannot do that. I'm like, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks, right? I mean, which honestly isn't true. I just taught my dog how to open that door. So that's not true. But I have tried to do the yarn under and I get it. It looks better. There's definitely a lot of videos on that. You can go check it out. It creates the perfect little X's as opposed to the slanting V's. But I don't think I'll ever do that the right way. So if you're watching my tutorials, just know when I say yarn over, I mean yarn over. Definitely do it your own way if you feel like that is how you learn. I just feel like everybody learns a certain way. And if you're down to learn a new way and you're able to, then definitely go do that. But if you're not, don't trip because I'm not tripping and all my stuff looks super cute. Okay, I do agree with rule number four with the invisible decreases because I was doing the, single crochet two together. That looks weird. I was doing the single crochet two together and it does create a hole. So my opinion is that invisible decreases are definitely something that you should be doing. And this is something that I'm glad that I figured out. Okay, so as far as staggering increases and decreases, I have followed a couple patterns that did this before. I got confused during it and ended up adjusting the pattern to my liking because like I said, I get confused. I don't know if it's my ADHD or what, but that was hard for me to put it together a pattern that way. I usually just adjust it back. You let me know, like, is staggering increases and decreases that big of a deal to you when you do amigurumi? Is this something that you do every time that you make a pattern? Because it is not something I do when I make my patterns. So if this is like a deal breaker for you, I apologize. Okay, and then regarding the spiral versus the rounds, if you have been following my channel for a little bit and you watch my tutorials, you know that I don't like working in the spirals. I like working in the rounds. I don't always, and I feel like the simple answer is a lazy answer. I don't want to have to put a stitch marker in every round. If we're being honest, I don't want to have to do that. I feel like once I learned how to do a backwards slip stitch, that is something I was able to change. I feel like that made the rounds look so much more uniform and has a better seam. As far as me, I think that the spiral versus round isn't a hard rule. I know for some people it really is. So Let me know what you guys think about that. Okay, and then the one hook size smaller than what you were supposed to be using. This is like the last thing I just found out, and I do not do that. I use my 5.5 crochet hook to make all of my loaf cats, and they come out just fine. These are done with 5.5 millimeter crochet hooks. I mean, okay, so the same reason why y'all all like the chunky yarn because it works up faster, that's why I like using this hook, works up faster. So I don't see a big deal on that. I know that that is a big deal to some people, and that is honestly why a lot of these patterns have people using tiny little hooks, and I get it, but you will probably not see me using a hook smaller than 4.5. And a 4.75 is just my go-to. And honestly, that is just because it was the first one I found and the first one I put a thing around. So that's what I use, you know? A lot of these decisions I make are not based on sound advice, it's just based on laziness. What they say, give the hardest job to the laziest person and they will find the most quickest efficient way to do it. Who said that? I forget who said that. But it's absolutely true because I'm not going to be messing around and doing all this stupid crap when I could just get it done so much faster in a quicker way. So, anyways, moving on. So basically what I will do, I'll do the magic ring. I will single crochet for the most part. There are quite a few times where it calls for a half double crochet. Sometimes I will use a smaller hook, probably not as small as some people would like. Like if I already have a pattern made, I'm not going to change it just because y'all think I should be using a smaller hook. That's not happening. Okay, what I refuse to do, I'm not gonna yarn under. I'm never gonna do that. I'm also never gonna be staggering my increases and decreases. That's never gonna happen. I probably will never do a spiral if I don't have to because it's just adds more work and it's complicated. I get it. And honestly, I have messed up so much on these loaf cats because of the spiral, because the eyes are not even and I've put them on all wonky. And I mean, if you watch me on TikTok, I've had to tear apart quite a few cats because either I put the eyes on crooked or I forget to put them in all together. Fun times. Like I said, I'm also not going to change hook sizes on a lot of the patterns. And also, I just wanted to tell you guys the best hack I have ever seen for no sew. These are called amigurumi sticks. Someone in my comments called them pimped out knitting needles. I guess they're like knitting needles with these little rubber beads on them, and you can get them off of Etsy. They're called amigurumi sticks, and I do have a video on how they work. I will put that video in the description link below, and within that video is the link to the Etsy store I bought these off of. I believe her name is Dylan, and she's an awesome person. I have gotten a couple of these from her. I gave a pair away in my giveaway. But this is where they come packaged. Super cute. I love them. And these are the most useful things. So if you hate no-sew, I really, if you gravitate towards the no-sew patterns, definitely go check these out because it will open up a whole new world for you. You will not be scared of sewing ever again. So I feel like, I'm not sure if no-sew or sewing was any kind of rule for amigurumi, but I know that a lot of people hate sewing. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Definitely go check these out. Okay, so did you guys know about these rules? Did you know about them? Do you follow them? Now that you know, are you gonna change anything about how you crochet? I don't know. I feel like I get stuck in my ways. I feel like a lot of us do, but I also have heard some comments from you guys saying that, someone said that they learned the backward slip stitch and it looks better and they're gonna start doing that. Like I said, I started doing that. So, and I started the magic ring. So there are some things that I will do, but some things I'm just not going to bother with. So let me know what your favorite ones were, what your least favorite ones were, and what you plan on changing, if anything at all. And remember, above all else, that Jesus loves you. And I will see you next time. Bye.